the reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Oh, I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith, that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand. Inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you. Comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you, to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. May I suggest, this is the best part of your life. When I was a little girl, and the devil would call my name, and I'd say, who do you think you're fooling? I'm a consequence.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? It's warming up a little bit in here, so a couple more minutes and we can, take our parkas off. And isn't it interesting that earlier in the week it was 80 degrees? And I was in shorts and a tank top, and not today. Anyway, welcome. Thank you all for coming. Welcome to our friends who are watching online. Everybody wave. We're so happy that you're with us. This is a community of love and support, and it is good to be together. For when we are together, we're just reminded of just how much we're supported, how much we're loved. We can look at each other, we can see each other, we can wave to each other. And all of these things are just outside markers of the community that we feel within. For truly in time and space, there is no distance. There is only consciousness. And we are here to remember that and to see each other's smiling faces. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for being here. We have our practitioner on platform this morning is Diane Clemens. And do yourself a favor, if you've never had Diane do prayer for you, ask her after service. She'll be happy to do that. The girl moves mountains. She looks quiet and demure and sweet. And then when she speaks, it's like fire. Mountains move, things happen. Your practitioners are here to support you. Whether you're celebrating something or struggling with something or simply want a reminder of a greater truth, talk to your practitioners. They're here for you. She'll also be doing our opening invocation and a reading to get us started. And our music today is our own Reverend Drac Duella. So let's start by centering ourselves, shall we? I'm going to invite you to turn off your phones if you haven't already, or silence them at least. And to take a deep breath and settle into wherever it is that you're sitting. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes and let the sound of the bowl take you within. For there is that place within us, a place of peace, a place of love, a place of light. And it is from this central place that we remember that you and I and Spirit are all one.
In this holy moment, we know that there is one loving, ever-present mind of God. We allow this loving presence to expand our consciousness and enlarge our understanding to receive the deepest, truest desires of our hearts. We give thanks for divine love that surrounds us, and in turn we share this love with our church family and our home family and the family of man. And let us know together at one moment that God is all there is, and there is nothing that is not God. We are as God is, perfect, whole, and complete. And let us know that today there is no accident that you're sitting in your chair today at this service. You have been led here and guided here by Spirit itself, and today you will hear what you have needed to hear, and it will be good. And we give thanks for that, and so it is. Our reading today was written by Ernest Holmes. He says, "The natural order of evolution has brought us to a place where there is a quickening of spirit, a keener perception of the mind, a deeper introspection of the soul. The veil between spirit and matter is thinning. We are emerging into a spiritual universe, proclaimed alike by the philosopher, the religionist, the scientist, and the idealist. And yet, the nature of reality or ultimate truth cannot have changed. 2 and 2 were 4 a million years ago. The awakening is to the mind and spirit. The passing of old orders of thought is but a proclamation of the inauguration of new and higher orders. Modern psychology, metaphysics, philosophy all announce a new birth of the mind, a new discovery of the self, a new consciousness of the intimacy of the mind with the subtle spirit within each of us. There appears to be one persistent purpose behind the great forward movement of evolution, namely, the expression of intelligence through creation into higher, finer, and more complex forms. An insistent and intelligent urge in the life principle impels it to express. Spirit is forever clothing itself in form. If we were to ask our imagination why this is so, the answer might be that God himself would remain a non-entity unless he were expressed. Even to the infinite, some form of created action and expression is necessary. The law will perfect itself that concerneth thee. Thank you, Ernest.
So I really like that one part that spirit clothes itself in form. That means we're all spirit clothed in human form. And I pulled this up, the weekly e-blast about our ID and how we identify ourselves. I was looking at this week, and it asks, do we see ourselves as broken? Do we see ourselves as capable, as friendly? We all have these sense of who we are. And that comes over time, and it's part of being a human on this planet. But at the core of each and every one of us is something that's still quiet, pure, and simple. That spirit that's in each and every one of us. And that spirit I thought about is a lot like the simplicity of a child, but we also have the maturity of our experiences walking on this planet as well, with each life. And so I composed this piece over the weekend. It is not the type of music I generally play. It's very classical, and it's very simple. It's just a simple lullaby of a waltz. And I wrote, this is what came through me because I was thinking about how spirit, when it really begins to mold us, it simplifies us. We don't need all those fancy things to impress the world anymore. We go back to the simple core of who we honestly are, like children. So.
So delightful. Yeah, I just wrote a little something over the weekend, too. It's not quite as rhythmic. However, it was beautiful. Thank you again. That was just lovely. All right, so our theme this month is Infinite You, and we're basing it on the book This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes, which just so happens to be a class that's in progress right now. Look at how that all fits together. So those of you in class, take notes. No, I'm just kidding. The title today is Show Your ID. Now, it's been a rather long time since I've had to show my ID for anything other. Oh, Chris is showing her ID. Yes, thank you, Chris. You may have an adult beverage. Yes, you may. I show it at the airport. I show it at the doctor's office. That's about it. But what am I doing? I'm proving that I am who I say I am, right? That I am who I appear to be. But we know that the world appears differently than what's really true, and we have to prove it a lot to the world, but I think we also prove to ourselves who we are all the time. We do it by the way we talk about ourselves and to ourselves. We do it by the way we talk about the world and how we see it. We're always proving what we think we are, who we think we are. Notice the word think. That's our mental capacity, influenced by our emotional responses, also influenced by our physical being and our physical surroundings. And yet that's not really the whole truth of us, because we are more than what we think or what we react to or how we move through this world. These days we hear a lot of people saying things like, I identify as, right? And this started back in the 80s with the LGBTQ community saying to people that, hey, this is no phase. This is who I am. This is how I move in the world. It's called political identity. And it's talking about how we make decisions in the world based on how we see ourselves and our place in it, and wanting to make the world a better place for everyone, not just the majority, not just the norm, so to speak, of the culture. So there's a desire in all of us that is actually spoken out loud. These days it's more about pronouns, or it's about gender, it's about ethnic background, it's about culture, I see myself as me in this way, regardless of how you out there see me. You see something that I should be, or that you think I am because of the title I have, or the fact that I'm female, or the fact that I'm only 5'5", my doctor tells me. It used to be 5'6". Actually, she said 5'4", and I don't believe her. I can choose what I want to believe, just so you know, and so can you. So we have this identity that we want to be known by, that we want to be seen for. We want to be recognized because it gives us a community. It gives us a sense of belonging. It reminds us that we are connected. And these are all human soul cravings, so to speak. And it's important. It's important that we're seen and recognized. We are better people when we feel seen and heard. If we don't feel seen and heard, what happens? Anybody have any anger monsters in their family? Or anybody have any shy and retiring violets that you've been trying to help them live their life for years and they just don't seem to get it? We are meant to be part of this human family in a way that's authentic. And it's the authenticity often that gets us caught, right? Because people think we should be a certain way, and sometimes we believe them. And the truth is, it's only our own heart that knows. And when we are in alignment with our heart and mind and our actions, then we have a harmonious, a flowing type of life. We are able to show up as our best selves, to put ourselves out there a little bit, because we're not in conflict with what we think we should do or how we should look with how we really are in this particular moment. We can be ourselves. And when we are ourselves is when we are most powerful. Because it's the authentic heart that has the power in life, the power to create, the power to transform, the power to become. All of that comes from our ability to know ourselves. And when we know ourselves, we give people room to know themselves as well. Because if I know who I am and you act out, I'm not going to take it personally. That's your stuff, not mine. I'm clear. Where we get into trouble is where we forget that there's a difference between what you think you see and what I feel that I am. And our communication, our spiritual growth, our willingness to be in community requires that we learn how to communicate authentically, that we learn how to present ourselves in a way that lets people see who we are without anybody having to make anyone else wrong. Right? Society is black and white. It's very binary. It's very, well, you're with me or against me. Yeah, I think if we took an opinion poll on pretty much any topic, like is the carpet blue, we would have a full variety of opinions. Is it blue or is it green? I don't know. Are you colorblind? You know? Some people are. It might look different to you. Who am I to say, right? So, we are all these individual, authentic expressions of life. And yet we talk all the time in here about oneness. So how does that work? So I don't know if you ever did this when you were in elementary school, but you take a box and you punch holes in it and you turn it upside down, and inside you put a flashlight and you turn the flashlight on, and then you make the room dark and the light comes through all the little holes. It's like magic. It's the cosmos from a child's point of view. There's almost a mystical sense when you see a room. I mean, maybe I remember this clearly, maybe it never happened to you, but there's a room full of small children and it's dark and all these little pinpoints of light are like all over the ceiling and the walls coming through the box. And the thing is, that's really a metaphor for life for us, because those openings that the light comes through, that allow the light to move out into the room, that's the humanness of us. That's each human being. But the light itself is one source. It's all one light. And that is who we are at our core. We are that one light. And it is good that we show up individually. It's what makes you and me so interesting, fascinating even. But the truth is, we share one source, one infinite source of life. And it's that light. When we know that, it sort of takes us beyond that category of female or black or Italian, or I'm a child of the 60s, or I identify as binary or cisgender or, poor. Whatever we say I am, right? We're identifying. But beyond those categories of humanity, there is that spiritual connection. There is that remembrance of the one light. And that's who we really are. And it's called by many different names. Parker Palmer writes that philosophers haggle about what to call this core of our humanity. Thomas Merton called it a true self. Buddhists call it original nature or big self. Quakers call it the inner teacher or the inner light. Hasidic Jews call it a spark of the divine. Humanists call it identity and integrity. In popular parlance, people often call it the soul. And what we name it matters little, but that we name it matters a great deal. Because when we name something, we are identifying it. And when we identify ourselves with it, we are able to express ourselves more fully in this case. The word identify is to associate oneself as being the essence of. Associate oneself as being the essence of. So the essence of life is my life. The essence of what love is the love that I am. That light in the box that shines through me as a little pinprick of light, that essence of the one source is infinite and unending and shared by all of life. I am that. So we have a different perspective of who we are in and as the world, and identifying with spirit, understanding that our divine nature is also our expression of life, allows us to expand. It allows us to transform, to become more. And the question, of course, is how do you do that? I mean, the world shouts at us all the time, right? And yes, we have a volume control on the news programs and which music we listen to and whether or not we let our children into our house or not. We have ways of sort of controlling, but the truth is the world is always coming at us. And the question is then, how do we get to the place of living as a spiritual light? We have a call to let go of the lesser, the ego's idea of the world, my idea of how I'm supposed to be or how you're supposed to be. Let go of that for the greater. So the individual ego mind, let go of some of that thought in order to open up to something greater, to that thing that pulls us, that calls us to be our best selves. When we do that, we rise above the limitations that life seems to have. Hey, you're too old for that. You can't do that. You don't run fast enough to be in the Boston Marathon, which is tomorrow. I'm not signed up for that. I'm okay with that. But we have this need to get past the part that says I'm Italian. I love being Italian. I identify with being Italian. It is part of who I am. But that doesn't mean I only eat Italian food. It doesn't mean that I only speak Italian. If I only know 3 words, like ciao bella and mangia, eat, the important words, right? Well, in Italian, it's the important words. I'm more than that. You're more than that. So to let go of the lesser in order to let in the greater. I'm not going to give up spaghetti sauce, but I am going to eat other things too, right? And I think the bigger release really is letting go of the old stories and the old wounds and instead identify with the divine nature of my being that lets me rise above what happened in the past so that I can now have a boundless, fulfilling life. The more I can clear the way for that spirit of light to shine through me, the more I will see that is good, that is a blessing, that is for me to give, that is for me to share, that is my talent and skill to live through. We have this ability to remember the greater truth of life. Now, on a bad day, it's a little tricky. On a bad day, everybody's stupid, except me, of course, and they're all driving either too fast or too slow, and they should be doing a whole bunch of other things that they're not doing, and I don't know why they're not. So it's good then to remind ourselves of the greater truth on purpose, to consciously choose to remember something more. So Ernest Holmes tells us in the book This Thing Called Life and also in the book This Thing Called You, pure spirit exists at the very center of our being, at the innermost part of our mind. It is our true and eternal self. Such life as we have flows from it, and there is nothing to our real being other than life and what it does through us. But because everyone is an individual, we can build a wall of negative thought between ourselves and this perfection. And this makes it difficult for the true center to come to the surface. we want the true center to come to the surface, then we must do our spiritual practice. When the world is loud, the only way to remind ourselves of a greater truth is to take a step back, to be still, to meditate. Maybe it means that you spend a little time in the silence. Maybe it's just pausing before you make a choice on how to respond to someone. Maybe you don't hit send on that email until you've slept on it a night. Maybe you don't make your decision until you listen within. We have to allow that knowing to come to the surface. We have to, as Holmes says, make a little room for it. And the ways that we do that, we read things that inspire us. We listen to music that lifts us up. We spend time with people or in places that open our hearts, that bring us to a place of peace. We remind ourselves of when we were successful in the past. You know, we're really good at remembering what we messed up. We're really good at thinking about what we should have, could have said, or how that would have been different if only I had chosen, to go to the beach instead of the mountains for school. I don't know. You know the decisions you make, the ones that you question now. We forget that we made those choices from the place we were in then, not from where we are now. And that's not a problem as long as we choose to make our choices now from where we are now, and not out of habit, and not out of complacency. So remind yourself of where you've been successful, hard things you've gotten through before, things that turned out better than you expected because you just kept moving forward. What we're doing is we're affirming our best self, our higher self. And you can say those affirmations out loud if it helps. So on hard days, we need to realign with what's true for our own hearts. And one of the ways to do that is to ask yourself a question. So beyond the circumstances or choice I'm trying to make, or bad relationship I'm in the middle of, or job I hate, or whatever it is, in the midst of that, what else is true for me? What else am I besides depressed or anxious or exhausted? Who else am I to be? Because if you're still here, you're still growing. You're still all about transformation. Life can only expand and grow, and that's who we are. Then all of those things that seem to be in the way are just that. They seem to be. They seem to be. So pause, reflect, hang out with the fun people. Fill yourself with things that remind you of the bigger picture. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "You are a piece of the universe made alive. Let the soul have its way through you." Let the soul have its way through you. We're emanations of light, offspring of the divine. And so we resemble spirit. In other words, to identify with the essence, to say that I am of the same essence, means that I am of spirit. Not to say that you are God, because the wave is not the ocean, but the wave is born of the ocean, and all that the ocean is in the wave. You are an expression of this divine universe. So when somebody asks you to show your ID, to prove to the world who you are, the ID that we're looking for is the way in which we identify with that which is greater, with the light that love is, with the energy of compassion, with the expression of kindness. We're here to be love, and to be loving. We're here to live. And that requires for us to live our best life, that we live in alignment with that greater truth body, mind, and spirit. We're openings of light. So what do you feel yourself to be? You know, what do you know yourself to be? If you can know in any moment, and if you forget, if you can remind yourself in any moment that you are a child of the Most High, that you are an expression of the spiritual life that life is, that you are love at your core, then you are opening yourself up to a life where you won't really have to prove anything. You'll just be showing it. You'll just be living it. It will come off of you. I still think they'll ask you for your ID at the airport, but everybody else will know just by looking at you. Deepak Chopra says you are not merely the physical body or the physical world that you identify with out of habit. Your essential state is a field of infinite possibilities. You can't be stuck. You are a field of infinite possibilities. And if you practice seeing that for yourself, you will be open to seeing the Spirit in other people. You will be open to finding the good that can come of any situation. You will really be the light of the world. And isn't that what we all need? Namaste. I invite you to center with me in prayer. Taking a moment and a breath. And breathing in that essence of the spiritual life which is at the heart of our being. Tapping into that place that knows only love, only peace, untouched by the world. For this eternal love that we are is of the divine. It truly is a boundless energy that life expresses through us. And as I know this life to be one of good, one of blessing, one of power and peace, one of balance and order, I know this to be my life also. And I know that this is true for all. For all life is of the one Spirit. And that Spirit is good. And I claim this power of transformation as my own. That form changes. That I create the form that I am surrounded by. I create the form of my own body of affairs. I create this life that I am. And as I know the greater truth of love within me, I am open to the love that all are. I see the light in and around everyone. I see beyond opinions and politics and gender and race and ethnic heritage and ability and different ability. I see beyond those things to the core of all. Like that flashlight in the box, there's one light. And how beautiful it is to see the stars in the sky. To know that each individuation of spirit, each individual expression is a gift in some way. I speak a word that my heart and my eyes and my arms be open to understanding the gifts and to offering my own. For truly, this is how we create a world that works for everyone. Here on earth, here today, with each other, with our greater community, with our planet. I identify as spirit in form, and therefore the world is open to me. My own energy is boundless. Creativity is simply the way I live. And for this I am grateful. Grateful for the gift of every single person that I meet, for every experience that comes my way, for my own ability to know and see and understand that life is for me. Grateful for the gift that every person I meet is in my life, and for every opportunity we have together to lift up the world. I simply let this go into the divine mind, for I know that in spirit it is already done, that the wholeness and the sacredness of life is a done deal. It is given already. I simply allow it to unfold in space and time in new and wondrous ways. And I call it good, for it is all God, and so it is. All right. Okay. You have an affirmation in your program. It will look familiar to most of you. I'll say each line and ask you to repeat it after me, and that allows our friends online to join in. There is one life. That life is God. That life is my life now. And so it is. Next week, we'll be talking about what we mean by the word God. So come back. All right, let's have a little more music from Reverend Drack.
Piece that I'm going to play, I've played before. You're familiar with it. And I'm using this particular one because the music invites you to go within. I know we just went within, but I'm going to invite you to a little bit more again. It really is. Or not. Up to you. But I just would invite all of you to imagine how you would feel or what it would look like or what you would see in your mind, whatever it is, if all of those walls were removed and you really were seated in the truth of yourself, that core essence of who you are. So that's what this piece is about, that invitation to just go inside and be with the truth of who you are.
Lovely. All right. I want that. Let's take a moment and show our appreciation for our community through our donations. For we know that this is our community, that we are contributing to something that we all treasure, this opportunity to come together, to have this beautiful campus, and to bring our teaching out to the outside world through each of our living. But as we also reach out into the community and participate in things like the Interfaith Council, or hosting services, or hosting speakers, these are all ways in which we offer an example of how we can live in a world that works for everyone. So know that what you are giving to is what you value the most, and that is this ability to live and teach and share how to live your best life. So if you will, say with me our prosperity affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. For those of you in the room, there is a basket and envelopes on the back table. And for those of you online, there is a donate button. And we will soon have little card instructions that tell you how to text to give, so that if you are ever out and about or sitting in your living room and you get this urge to simply shower money upon the community, you can type in a phone number and it will magically appear in our bank account. It's a marvelous thing. So we have it set up. We'll just get the instructions and everything out to you so that you can begin using it. All right, my friends, we have some invitations. I did not ask a board member to do the invitations before. Is that you, Johnny, today? Are you ready to do them, or am I just doing them? Oh, no, just waving. Okay. We're such a friendly group. I'll do them today, but the intention is to have your board of trustees also be up front to tell you what's going on, and so you get to know them a little bit, and because you kind of know me already, but today you're stuck with me. So here we go. So first of all, from last week, we missed the part about acknowledging Ponce for donating these beautiful flowers. Yay, so thank you very much. And the fun part is you actually get to take them home with you after we've enjoyed them. Now, since they're still gorgeous, we left them up here this week. This week's flowers are on the back table, and those are thanks to Betty Francis. So thank you very much. All right. Let's see. Wednesday night, we have meditation at 5 o'clock in the practitioner room with Nisa, or you can Zoom online if you're not here directly in person. You can call in, and we have service here in the chapel at 5:30, and we have a discussion night this Wednesday. What's good about me? What's God about me? God and good. Just put that little O in there or take it out as you will. What is it about spirit within us? And what is it that's good within me or about us? So that's at 5:30 here in the chapel. Let's see. Third Thursday is this coming week, or this coming week? Thank you. So I'll be here for lunch. You may join me if you'd like. Third Thursday is lunch with the Rev. Bring something to eat, and we'll sit in the library, which is newly remodeled and just gorgeous, and have a chat. We can do question and answer. We can talk about a particular topic, and we can talk about nothing at all. So do come. It's a lot of fun. Just bring your lunch, and I'll see you at 12 o'clock in the library on Thursday. Coming up on Sunday, the 28th of April, so the last Sunday of the month, after service, we have a special presentation from 12 to 1:30. A good friend, Donna Rice, is coming to do a platform reading. She is a medium, and will be talking to the group about who and what she sees, and a little bit about what mediumship is and what it is not. We'll be here in the chapel at 12 o'clock. There's a recommended $15 donation at the door, and don't let that stop you from coming. Give what you can. But she's fabulous, and it's bound to be interesting, and she'll also be taking appointments for the following Saturday here at the center. So if you like what you hear, if you enjoy the presentation, if you would like a personal reading, she'll set up an appointment for you for the following weekend. So that's Sunday the 28th after service at noon. Donna Rice is coming. There's a flyer that will be in your e-blast, and we'll have flyers on the back table next week, so you can get a little, or you can look her up online, D-O-N-A, 1N, Rice. Okay, we've got our ongoing line dancing and belly dancing on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. We've got our food basket in the back for donations. We support Foothill Family Shelter and Inland Valley Hope Partners, so do feel free to pick up a couple extra things next time you're at the store or you're cleaning out your closet of some gently used or never worn items. You know you have a couple. Bring those and we'll make sure they get into the hands of people that can use them. We've got coffee in the back after service, and we've got Reiki. Do we have a date? May 18th. Okay. Do you want to say a word or two? No, you don't. Not yet. Okay. But Saturday, May 18th, save the date. We will have Reiki here at the center. We'll have more details coming. It's our own Sue that's going to do it. Hi, Sue. She's not ready to say anything yet today, but we'll make sure that we have some information for you, but do save the date. Anything else? Are we good? All right, my friends, I'm so glad you're all here. Let's stand up and sing and take a look at the people next to you in the sanctuary and feel the love and all that.
Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We